Hey everybody, this is Carl White broadcasting from the remote secret headquarters of the Mortgage Marketing Animals / Freedom Club. And you are listening to Loan Officer Freedom, #1 podcast in the world today for loan officers. And I'm joined here today with my dear friend and one of my business partners, Steve Kiles. How you doing, my brother?
What's up, my friend? You are in the secret headquarters with the ocean view, kind of the sun reflecting on your face. You look like an angel.
Well, see, that is actually a problem. So today I am broadcasting from the remote office here
I
on
love it.
Myrtle Beach, and literally the sun is coming off the Atlantic Ocean, and it's coming in through the. I'm out here close to the balcony, and it's shining on my face. So those of you watching this live on the Loan Officer Deal Desk Facebook group, you might say, "Well, Carl, you need to change your lighting."
You look like an angel.
That's the sun. That's the sun. I can't change the sun. So, and what a wonderful business that we all have collectively here, that we literally can work anywhere.
Yeah.
And I choose to work here in Myrtle Beach. With my wife's here, my son's here, my daughter lives here. She's a new doctor, physician here in Myrtle Beach. So we're hanging out with her. And as we're recording this is the week of the Christmas break. So Christmas just finished. We're waiting for New Year's. And this episode, I think, is going to be released on like New Year's Day or the day after New Year's Day. And so hence the topic, the 5 things that you may need to change to get even better results for the year coming forward. And even if you're listening to this in July, right, just say going here forward. What's 5 things I need to change? Good topic, Steve?
Man, I love it. Well, and it's a great time to reflect. And Carl, I think what a great title, 5 things that you may need to change to get even better results. And so as we're looking ahead to the new year, or as you're listening to this, we're in the new year. Carl, what would you say? You're looking back and you're saying, man, if you change this, I think you'll get better results. What would number 1 be?
So, and let me rephrase it. I don't think you'd get better results. I know you would, right? So these are the things that if you're not already doing, right? If you've already got some of these things, awesome. But if you're not, these things will epically change your results for sure. So the first one that I came up with is a question to ask ourselves: am I doing money-making activity? Am I doing money-making activity? And Steve, the best example of this I've ever had was my dear friend, Ralph Watkins, who's the guy that got me in the mortgage industry. Some of you might have spoke to him. And he said, Carl, make a list of all those things that happen before the phone rings, and then make another list of both things that happen after the phone rings. And what he meant by that is our job as loan officers, or as top producing loan officers or top producing branch managers, which Steve, you and I are both branch managers. You're actually a producing branch manager. That the list of things that happens after the phone rings is far larger than the things that happen before the phone rings. In other words, if you look at your last 10 deals, and whether that happened in the last week or the last year, right, however long it took you to do 10 deals, what in those 10 loans, what did they have in common that made the phone ring? Like for the next deal.
Yeah.
What do they have in common, and do more of that? And then once the phone rings, understand the person at McDonald's that makes the money is the person that gets them to drive up to the drive-through. Once they drive to the drive-through, once the phone rings,
there's a process. Yeah.
The French fry guy makes French fries, right?
And he does it the same way every time.
That's right. That's right. And he or she doesn't make the same amount of money as the CEO of McDonald's, where he's in charge or she's in charge of having people drive up to the drive-through. So your highest level of activity that you can ever do to generate you more money is to do the activity that makes somebody call you asking about getting pre-approved, not the actual activity of actually answering the phone, even though both are very, very critical, very, very important. For you as the loan officer, the originator, where you originate the lead, you originate that business coming in, that's where to spend your activity doing that. Because and people that's listened to podcasts before go, hey, we've heard this one before. I cannot overemphasize the importance of focusing in on bringing in business versus taking a loan application or getting page 3 of the bank statement or ordering the appraisal, or God forbid, if you're doing your own processing, right?
Yeah.
So that's just it's okay to do that activity. Just understand it's costing you a fortune. So if you, hey Carl, I get it, I'm willing to give up like tens of thousands, and for some of you even hundreds of thousands. Some of the members in our Freedom Club, literally hundreds of $1,000s a month. If you're okay to give that up because you love processing so much, because you like chasing bank statements so much, then and I'm not saying this to be funny, like keep doing that activity. Just understand the cost behind doing it.
That's
So
right.
make a list of all those things that happen before the phone rings, after the phone rings. Focus on the before phone ring stuff. So
Huge.
Steve, what if I say, hey, what's some of those activities that makes a phone ring, Steve? What's a couple?
Well,
What's an
that's
example?
going to be absolutely Thors Hammer, which is going after new agents. You're booking coffees, you're booking lunches, you're booking appointments to have them break the trust barrier.
Yeah.
Once they do that, you've got a focus 40 list of agents that you're calling on a weekly basis. Some of the activities, even while it's in sales fulfillment, would even be just ask. You're asking the listing agent, asking the buyer's agent, asking the buyer proactively what we call our 3x3. Do if you have any friend, family, coworker looking to buy, sell, or refinance here in the next 12 months, would you get me their name and number so that I could help them just like I'm helping you? And so that's a couple. The other one, here's another one. Are we calling our database actively? Because every 100 borrowers that we've helped close or that are in our database should be producing 1 to 3 transactions a month. But you know what happens, Carl? I love this question, or the thing to focus on. Most of us as loan officers cannot call our database actively from 9 to 11 on Wednesday because we're chasing things after the phone rings. And so you've got Thors Hammer Monday, Just Ask Tuesday, Database Wednesday, pre-approved looking calls on Thursday. And all of these have an outbound component. They're not waiting on the phone to ring. You're outbound marketing, asking for more business as we continue to add value to our partners. That's just a few, brother. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Make the phone ring.
All right, awesome. So I think we covered that one. So change number 1, am I doing money-making activity, and getting that bank statement is not money-making activity.
That's right.
All right.
Hey, what's number 2? So we got number 1 down. Yep.
So number 2 is kind of a reflection of number 1. Do I have a team? Do I have a team? Now, as you're listening to this today, you might go, well, Carl, I'm only closing 3 loans a month. I can't afford a team. And I remember closing 3 loans a month, right? I remember doing that. And I still got a team. I made that investment. And was it scary? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was real scary. But I honestly think, Steve, that was part of the thing that fueled my success is
you got to perform.
Yeah, I got to perform. I got somebody counting on me, not just my wife and my 3 kids. Yeah. I got somebody else's husband and their 2 kids counting on me too. And now, my first assistant, I actually shared with somebody after a very short period of time. So I shared with another loan officer, in my case, my branch manager, to help ends meet. So if you have to share that person, totally okay. Nothing wrong with that, right? So if you have to share that, like find, 2 other people that are doing like 3 loans a month, and collectively you guys are doing 9, and you want to share an assistant, nothing wrong with that at all. As long as they understand that as you ramp up, because you will if you do this activity. Yeah. As you ramp up, that then maybe one of the people say, hey, you need to go get your own now, because as I'm ramping up, this person, in my case, her name was Jeanette, became more and more of my assistant until I was closing, I don't remember the number, but let's say 8 loans a month or so. And then she was my full-time assistant working only with me. So do you have a team? You have got to have a team. If you don't have a team, you are absolute toast. There's just no way you can. If you do ramp up, it'll be very short-lived because you'll be stressed out, you'll be burned out. Your life partner or your kids or your pet parakeet or whatever will miss you because you're not at home or you're not present when you're at home, and that's no good for you. It's no good for them. So you have got to have a team to be able to consistently produce ever larger numbers with even less stress.
That's right. Hey, and that goes back to Carl. I think that's where people equate more loans equal more time, more stress, more pressure. but it's also what gets you off of the roller coaster. So you can get to the 5, 7, but there's no way you can do it consecutively because there's nobody helping you. Great point. Hey, what's number 3? So we got to have a team. Number 3 is what?
Number 3 is, do I have the right referral partners?
Yeah, that's a big one.
It is. Now, for me, the right referral partners for me has always been real estate agents. Now, I get it. Some people say, hey, financial planners and divorce attorneys, awesome. If you already have those people and you're getting a book of business from them, those are great sources. I always thought, like, for real estate agents was always my first, because I always thought I know, number one, I know more about real estate than I do divorces.
Yeah.
Right. So I can, thank God, right. The lovely Mrs. White has put up with me for these 35 years or so now. So thanks to her putting up with me, I don't have any experience in divorce myself, but I understand different people go through different situations, and I'm not making light of that. Right. That's a very challenging thing in life. I just don't know anything about it. Same thing with financial planning. Don't get me wrong. I've done real well and have an 8-figure net worth, and I've done well with my own finances. But when it comes time to start talking with a financial planner about how to do financial planning, I don't have a lot of input in there. And the most important reason that I always went after real estate agents is because virtually 100% of their customers need my services. Whereas some of the financial planners customers do, usually around 5% or so at any given moment. Same thing with the divorce attorneys, maybe 20%, which is still a good number, but it's not 100%. And so I've always preferred the real estate agent. But again, if you've already got a buddy that's an attorney or a financial planner, or you have a passion for helping people go through a divorce, because God knows that I can't even imagine the stress that would do. And if you've got it in your heart that, hey, I want to help those people get through this thing, and make sure that whoever needs to refinance the house gets put in the right position, and the other person might be getting ready to go buy a house. I've done a handful of those. And so if you've already got those, awesome. But if you're saying, hey, I want to ramp my business up, who should I go after? For me, it's go after the person that virtually 100% of their clients need your services. And to me, that's a real estate agent. So when I say going after the right referral partners, number one, make sure that these referral partners are qualified. So what do we mean by qualified, Steve?
Yeah, well, and that's a great point, Carl, because somebody can know, love, and trust you and want to work with you, but if they don't do enough business, they simply can't refer you enough clients. So qualified is where you're doing at least 8 buy-side transactions. And the trap that we can find ourselves in is, hey, Sally Sue's one of my favorite agents. We do happy hour together. We do lunch together. But if she only closes 2 buy-side transactions for the year, you've really only got one shot, because half the time they come with their own financing, and then you might only get half of one. It's just not enough. So you've got to have qualified agents who are doing at least 8 buy-side transactions or more. And if you're a year per year, per transactions, or else it's just not enough transactions. So
you got to make sure they're qualified. So number 2, and this is we're doing things that I might need to change to get even better results going forward for the next year. Number 2 on having the right referral partners. Number 1 was qualified. Number 2, do I like them?
Yeah,
do I like
that's
this
a big
person?
one. That's a big one
for me, because dude, I have to love my work, and dude, I love my work. And Steve, I love working with you. Like, I really love working with you. And I work with Tammy. I love working with Tammy. I work with Diane. I love working with her. I work with Owen and Kevin and Scotty and Teresa and all the team over there at the mortgage branch, and Michelle. I genuinely love those people. And those are the kind of people I'd be hanging out with anyway. Yep. If I'd met you in some other fashion form, I'm sure we'd still be great buddies. We just have to be great buddies that work together. And so I like my referral partners to be the same thing. These are the agents that I hang out with anyway. Yes. We just happen to be doing business together. And so if I meet with somebody that is uncool in any way, shape, or form, or I feel like they're, I don't know, too demanding, or frankly, maybe they're living a lifestyle that, is not congruent with my lifestyle. And I'm not making judgments on anybody. I don't know. Like if I'm meeting with, every time I want to meet with them, I have to go meet with them at happy hour. I'm not much of a drinker, right? So that, being in a noisy bar is just not my favorite cup of tea, right? It just isn't. Or I don't know, if they're just somebody that we just seem like we're rubbing wrong, or I feel like they're always trying to, or if they want me to work the weekends, I don't work weekends, right? That's not going to work for me. It's not bad if they enjoy happy hour. That's nothing wrong with that at all. It's not
Yep.
bad if they want to work the weekends. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just not who I am. And so for me, it has to be people that I would genuinely like. We would hang out anyway. And it doesn't mean that they have to be like me. They might be totally different from me, right? They might have an alternative lifestyle. They might younger, older, like none of that stuff matters to me at all, right? It's just, do we have the same, I don't know, basic philosophies in life, like being cool and being cool to other people.
Yep.
And if you're cool and you're cool to other people, then likely we're going to get along. Which, by the way, one of my things that I do when I'm forming a new, either not a romantic relationship, I got the lovely Mrs. White for that, but when I'm looking to generate a new personal relationship or new business relationship, I love watching people at restaurants.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, if I meet somebody and we're meeting at a restaurant and they're a little sharp to the waiter or the waitress, not my person, right? Not my person. Yeah, I like people that are nice to people, that want to help people. They have a giving spirit. They're polite and respectful of people. Dude, we're going to get along great.
Yep.
Right. But if they're, a little short with people, or, they think they're all high and mighty and a little above everybody else, man, we're not going to get along, and I don't suppose there's anything wrong with that per se. That's just not going to be the person I'm going to genuinely like on a personal level. And if I don't like them, if they're either not qualified or I don't like them, I don't want to work with them. Right?
Yeah.
They probably won't want to work with me. Right. So are they qualified? Do I like them? And my third part of having the right referral partner is, are they trying to measure me by my muleness? Are they trying to measure me by my muleness? And what I mean by that is, are they measuring me by how well I can pull a plow? In other words, they say, Carl, I need you to do this, that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this, and that. And then on the next agent, I want you to do this and that, and this thing. I need you to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And the next agent, I need you to do this and that, and this, and that. Dude, I wouldn't have time to work with those people, right? There's no way I can scale up my business if they want to know how well I can pull a plow. And that's just not going to be a good match for me. And so what I want them to measure me by is, do I close them on time?
Yep.
Do I give them great communication during the loan process? And do I follow up on their leads like green on a pickle, so they get even more referrals going forward? And I do know, because of a survey that you and I both know about, that we sent out and got over 10,000 agents to respond back to, that's the three things. That was their three biggest complaint with loan officers: is they don't close me on time, they don't give me good communication during the loan process, I send them on the lead, I never hear from them again. So if that's important to them, which is most agents, I'm your man. Like, I'm your guy. But if you want, me, Carl, you got to work the weekends. You got to actually show up at the open houses. And man, if I call, you got to call me back within 2 minutes. They're measuring my muleness. I'm going to let them down. Not going to be a good match for me. And I think the thing to keep in mind, which we've said many times on these podcasts, there's 1,000 of them.
Yes.
Like, there's 1,000 referral partners, and there's only one of you. You can be picky. Right? You can be picky and find those things that matches you. Now, your list might be a little different from me of what you like or what you don't like, or that kind of thing. And that's okay, because there's 1,000 of them and there's only one of me, and there's 1,000 of them, there's only one of you. And that's okay. So, right, referral partners, are they qualified? Do I like them? Are they trying to measure me by my muleness?
Yeah, I love it. Well, that's what I would call a business by design. Carl, I love it. It's just saying, you know what, this is what I choose. And we say that all the time, is I choose to have a business that looks like X. Great job, man. I love that. What's number four?
I work with cool people. All right. Yeah. Number four, and I want to be careful how I word this, because I don't want anybody to misinterpret it. But so four is going to have two parts. Am I working under the right platform, which is going to be broker versus mortgage banker? And I don't think there's a right or wrong to this one. I think, there's a thing going on of, there's certain groups that try to make it like a war front of some sort, which I've never understood that whatsoever. Yeah. And so I've been both. I've been both a banker and I've been a broker. I've been a correspondent lender, right? And I've done extremely well at both of them. I just understand that, like, if I'm a broker, I have to understand that I'm going to be more of the human resource department. I'm going to be the compliance department. I'm going to be the closing department, and that's okay. It pay, the bips pay better, but I can do less loans that way,
Mhm.
because I'm wearing more hats. And so if you like wearing all the other hats, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. We've got people in the Freedom Club, very, very, very successful, that are brokers, that are in the 2 Comma Club, making over $1 million of W-2 income from their own personal production, right? That's okay, but they're made for that part. And the same thing, we have people in the Freedom Club that are making over $1 million. They're in the 2 Comma Club that are bankers. But and I've seen people that didn't work well under one platform, but they worked extremely well under the other. And I've seen it flip flop both ways. And so but I think you have to, ask yourself, am I working on the right platform for me and my personality? Not that there's one right or one wrong, but there might be one right or one wrong for you as the individual, not collectively as a whole, but as you as the individual. So, and in saying that, so I'm going to piggyback on that as number 4. So number 4 has 2 parts. Am I working for the right platform? And am I working with the right company? Right. So I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm saying here, but I'm just going to give you, I got 4 things that I look at when I'm looking at a company to work with. That I've changed companies just off the top of my head, I think 3 times in my mortgage career of 21 years. Right. And so number 1, am I with a company where I need to make my own leads? For me, I like that, because if I'm working for a company and they provide all my leads, I'm dependent on them. And if something ever happens with them, I've got a problem.
Yeah, you sure do.
So you have to learn how to create your own leads. And so there's nothing wrong with your company providing leads. Like our company provides leads for some of the loan officers, but the payout's going to be different, of course.
Mhm.
Right. And so we always want the loan officer to learn how to generate their own leads so that they stay in control of the situation. Right. You don't want to be reliant on somebody else providing you milk, or otherwise you starve. And when you're first getting started, maybe it's okay to live off of mama's milk, so to speak. But as you grow up, right,
Yeah.
you wean yourself off of that, and you start providing your own food at some level. And so I think that's important. So number 1, do they allow you to create your own leads? And if the answer is yes, that's a good for me.
Mhm.
Number 2, do they provide me help? So we talked about a few minutes ago that number 2 was, do I have a team? And so do they provide me help? Because one thing I found, Steve, is any minute that I'm spending getting my own help and being the HR department, I'm not doing what was our number 1, doing money making lead generation activity.
Yep.
And so for me, just personally, I don't want to spend all my time looking for help, because the time I spend in that, I'm not looking for new loans and new referral partners, and it's costing me a fortune. So I like it when somebody else helps me build my team. I don't want to be the HR department. Number 3, do they help me be a branch manager if I'm not? So if I'm not a branch manager, and not that being a branch manager is for everybody, but if you think being a branch manager is something that you're wanting to do they have a program to teach you how to be a branch manager and transition to that at some point, or at least expose you to it with training and how-to stuff, so that you can make the decision, do I want to be a loan officer? Do I want to be a branch manager? Mm-hmm. And again, we have people in the 2 Comma Club and the Freedom Club that are loan officers, and we have people that are in 2 Comma Club as branch managers. So I'm not saying you need to be a branch manager. I'm not saying you don't need to be a branch manager. I'm just saying you need to have the resources available so that you can make the choice.
Yeah.
And then the 4th and last part, am I with the right company, is, am I the biggest fish? Am I the biggest fish?
That's a big one.
If I'm the biggest producer in my company, I might need to look at something different, because I always run a little faster when I've got somebody in my sights in front of me
that I'm
and I'm chasing them. I just I'm a real competitive guy, and I want them to be very successful too, of course. But I don't want to be the biggest fish. What's the old saying? If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Yeah.
If I'm the biggest producer, it can be challenging. It can be challenging. Now if I've got somebody right on my heels, I guess that would work too. I always found I have my best growth when I'm not the biggest fish in the pond, and that I've got other people guide me. So that's number 4, am I with the right company?
Yeah, I love that. What's
And,
number
and,
5?
and,
Yeah.
and I just want to say, most loan officers are with the right company. I just want to
Well,
say,
and hey, Carl, listen, I think that that's an honest question. You do have to ask yourself, am I on with the right group that's going to help me? Because, it goes back to that statement, I choose. And so most of you are, but if you're not, you have to take an honest assessment. Great point.
exactly.
All right. So what's number 5? Go
last
number 5.
last one. Am I hanging out with other successful people?
That's powerful,
man. So, and there's 3 parts of this. So number 1, frankly, are they successful? And are they successful in the things that I honor? Right?
Yeah.
Are they successful in things that's congruent with what I want to be successful in? Number 2, do they already have what I want? Do they
Hey, that's
already
a great
have
question most people don't ask.
Mhm.
That's huge.
Mhm.
Do they have the freedom? Do they have the finances? Do they have the structure? Do they have the life? That's a
Yeah,
big one.
it is. Because then they can be, even if they're not signing up for it, they can be a mentor of mine, even as a buddy.
Yeah.
And so this person, and by the way, this person might work for another company, right? That's totally cool. I don't need to change to his or her company. I'm going to put them in my circle so I can hang out with them. And Steve, like in the Freedom Club, you and I, man, we hang out with some super uber successful people. I mean, there's cats in there closing over 100 loans a month of personal production, and there's branches in there that are closing like 600 to a billion, over $1 billion as a branch.
Yes.
And we also have company owners in there too. And I find that hanging out with these uber successful people, man, it's a driving force for me. And it's just iron sharpening iron. And then the last part, so number 5, am I hanging out with successful people? Are they already successful? Do they have what I want? Do they have what I don't? Do they not have what I don't want? Right? Because I want that too. And the third part is, do they help people? Do they help people? Because I like hanging out with people that have a servant's heart, like you do, Steve. You very much have a servant's heart. So you're very successful in what you do. You have a large following in what you do, and both in your personal life and your business life, you want to help people. And so I love successful people that genuinely want to help people, which, just by the way, I know we're at the top of the hour here. So I met with Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, a couple years back. And, he plays this thing where he's a real jerk and, I'm going to crush you like the cockroach that you are. Yeah. In reality, so when I met with him, dude, he was like the nicest guy I ever met. Like just a super nice guy. And he genuinely wants to help people. And so am I hanging out with successful people that actually want to help people? Now we're on the same path of congruency, and I just absolutely love that. So number 1, am I doing money making activity? Number 2, do I have a team? Number 3, do I have the right referral partners? Number 4, am I with the right company and the right platform? And number 5, am I hanging out with successful people? Change any one of those 5, it'll be epic. Change more than one of those 5, it's beyond your wildest dreams. So my branch did $2 billion this year, beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
But it's because I do money making activity. I do have a team. For me, I'm in the right platform. For me, I'm at the right company. I have the right referral partners, and I hang out with successful people like you.
Dude, that's huge. I mean, these are such simple tactics, but powerful ones. I absolutely love it, man. Thank you for sharing that, Carl.
Oh, dude, I love it. So, hey, guys, as you're going on here, and many of you are listening to this at the start of the new year, and if you feel like you want to do some change, it's no secret that Steve and I are involved with the Freedom Club and the Mortgage Marketing Animals. Hey, and if you've ever wondered what happens on one of these coaching platforms, and what does a 45-minute coaching call sound like? How much help can you do in 45 minutes when you talk on the phone with me? We want to give you a demo of what one of these high-end coaching calls sounds like, absolutely for free. No credit card, no trial. It's free. So if you go to freedomclubdemo.com, freedomclubdemo.com, we're going to give you a 45-minute coaching call. It's not a sales call. This is an actual coaching call, so that you can make a decision. Hey, is being in a coaching program something that'll help me and benefit me? how better can we show that we can help you than by actually helping you? So we'll actually help at the end of this 45-minute call. You're going to have a very clear plan and vision of exactly what these calls go like, because you'll have just finished one, and you can do one of two things at the end of the call. Both is totally cool. You can say, hey, man, I'd like to do more of these. Awesome. We can talk about that. Or you might go, hey, gang, man, loved it. Great nuggets. Got it. I'm going to take these ideas and I'm going to run with it. Totally cool too. But to make a decision, you have to actually experience it. So we're going to give it to you. So freedomclubdemo.com, freedomclubdemo.com, and looking for you being in there. And it's as this podcast is downloaded by tens of thousands of people, it's a first come first serve basis. And brother, I appreciate you. It's just an absolute honor to be on this journey with you. And I really appreciate. We've had a lot of fun doing the podcast together this year, Steve. And
it's been fun.
You're a very successful person. I love hanging out with. So
I love you, brother. It has been a fun year, and we celebrate your success as you're listening. These 5 tactics will help change your business in 2022.
All right, thanks, everybody. Hey, and man, one last thing. Would you please forward this episode to 3 of your best buddy loan officers?
Yes,
so
it will absolutely help them.
Pick 3, forward it to them, and I'm gonna ask you that favor. So, all right, we'll talk to you on the call. freedomclubdemo.com. We're counting on you to forward this to 3 of your loan officer friends to help spread the message, and we'll talk to you when you call in. Bye, everybody. Thanks again.
See you.